Hello there, you're now with me, Handy Gui, and this is TVS News at 5. Let's dive into today's topic. A supposedly memorable trip with mom to a pepper farm turned tragic after a 2-year-old girl succumbed after being stung by hornets while accompanying her mother at the pepper farm.
According to the Julao District Police Chief DSP Andan Sulin, when the toddler was stung below her left ear, her mother rushed her home but was unable to take her to the clinic as she had no transport. The girl was only brought to the clinic at about 8:30 p.m. when her father returned home. According to the doctor, she was weak upon arrival and was unfortunately pronounced dead at 11:40 p.m.
Now, more than 30,000 public university students will benefit from the 185.7 million ringgit tuition fee deduction initiative launched by the government in an effort to help those affected by the pandemic.
In a statement, the Ministry of Higher Education MOHE said the deduction ranging between 10 to 35% includes service, accommodation, and graduation fees, as well as college activities. Eligible recipients for this initiative would be second semester students from the 2019 to 2020 academic session first, before proceeding to the next 2 semesters of the 2020-2021 academic session. MOHE views that the fee deductions are necessary as the 20 universities involved had to bear high operations costs.
Now, in the effort to ensure that herd immunity can be achieved in line with the targets outlined by the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, the Drug Control Authority, or DCA, has granted conditional approval to Sinopharm and Johnson & Johnson vaccines to be used to deal with COVID-19 threats in Malaysia.
This, at the same time, witnessed the 6th and 7th types of immunization to be included in the National COVID-19 Immunization Program portfolio. According to the Health Director General, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, Covilo suspension for injection COVID-19 vaccine, ViroCell, inactivated is developed by China National Biotech Group Company Limited and manufactured by Beijing Institute of Biological Products Co. Limited, BIBP, China, with Duo Pharma Sendirian Berhad as the product registration holder. The Janssen COVID-19 vaccine suspension for injection vaccine, on the other hand, is manufactured by Janssen Pharmaceutica NV Belgium with Johnson & Johnson Sendirian Berhad as the product registration holder. He added Ministry of Health would keep improving the level of public health amid COVID-19 through the procurement of vaccines that have been evaluated in terms of their quality, safety, and efficiency by the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency and approved by the DCA. Earlier, the implementation of PIC saw Malaysia granting conditional approval for use during disasters involving 3 types of vaccines, namely Pfizer, Sinovac, and AstraZeneca.
A rotten stench from a river has baffled residents at the Taman Lucy residential area in Kota Padawan for days. It turns out that the stench came from the decomposing body of a man at the river not far from a farm behind the residential area.
Pihak polis dibantu oleh pasukan forensik Hospital Umum Sarawak yang diketuai oleh pakar patologi telah membuat pemeriksaan secara fizikal ke atas mayat tersebut. Hasil pemeriksaan awal dapati tiada kecederaan disebabkan oleh jenayah, tetapi mempunyai beberapa kecederaan yang disebabkan oleh gigitan serangga atau binatang. Turut mendapati adalah si mati telah berumur berdasarkan ketiadaan gigi. Jadi kes telah disiasat oleh Ketua Polis Balai Batu 10 sebagai sudden death report.
The victim's body was brought to the Sarawak General Hospital mortuary for post-mortem. The case is classified as sudden death.
Now on to quick COVID update. Malaysia COVID-19 case rate continued to climb after the country reported a record 12,541 new infections today. Selangor has the highest infections with 5,512 cases, followed by Negeri Sembilan with 1,619 cases and Kuala Lumpur with 1,542 cases. Meanwhile, Sarawak recorded 423 new infections. This brings the country's cumulative number of infections to 893,323.
Kenyalang terbang jauh, meneroka dunia yang luas, meneroka cabaran, membawa jalan hidup di perantauan untuk keluarga, untuk negara, untuk kita semua. From Sarawak, with love.
United Kids of Oi!
Jangan lupa saksikan Nembiak Toronto setiap Sabtu jam 11.15 pagi hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Akan berfixing items happy kerana abak tandang menua pusing korban tinggal mereka yang memahami terutama di madah kecaranya and you can see
Salam sejahtera.
Warnailah hidupmu, tampilkanlah bakat baru. Sarawak pasti maju, menginspirasi duniamu.
that is not cool. Oh man.
Hopefully she don't burn the aromatic.
I do have one question. Is the instruction correct? Oh my god.
So I think like our crew actually enjoy seeing us getting commended lah.
Hello there and welcome back. Now moving on to COVID-19 vaccination ramp up with 460,158 doses administered yesterday, smashing the records of the highest daily number of people inoculated in the country.
Total doses administered yesterday included 155,351, which were given as second dose, while 304,807 individuals received their first dose. This brings the total number of vaccine doses administered under the National COVID-19 Immunization Program implemented since last February 24 to 13,107,716 doses. On another development, Malaysia now boasts one of the fastest vaccination rates in the world, doling out more than 400,000 doses a day, outperformed in the past week only by Canada among countries of a similar size or greater, and double the pace of Australia.
With the new COVID-19 variants, including the Delta variant, infections can spread very quickly in just 15 seconds via airborne. This was confirmed by the Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah.
According to Noor Hisham, the airborne infection would raise the infectivity rate R0 or RT in the community, which then results in a spike in daily cases.
Juga dimaklumkan peningkatan kes bukan hanya di negara kita. Kita lihat peningkatan kes kita bermula pada 26 Jun dan kita 26 Jun dan kita lihat peningkatannya adalah kerana kebolehjangkitan Delta variant yang boleh menjangkit dengan cepat. Dan kalau kita lihat kebolehjangkitan virus yang biasa R0 ataupun RT dalam 2.5 hingga 3, tetapi R0 ataupun RT untuk Delta variant dan varian-varian yang kita kenal pasti adalah lebih tinggi, iaitu 5 hingga ke 8. Berarti kalau 100 orang dijangkiti, dalam tempoh masa terdekat inkubasi akan menjangkiti 500 orang hingga 800 orang.
Meanwhile, Dr. Noor Hisham said the implementation of the movement control under the National Recovery Plan on June 1 had given the Ministry of Health space and time to manage the increased number of beds, equipment, and medicine required in hospitals nationwide. This could be seen through the ministry's capability in providing a total of 4,300 beds at present, with 3,600 beds at the Malaysia Agro Exposition Park Serdang MAEPS COVID-19 Integrated Quarantine and Treatment Center and 700 beds in 3 hospitals, including at the Serdang Hospital.
Now, Thailand reported 9,186 new COVID-19 cases and a record high of 98 new fatalities during the past 24 hours. To date, Thailand recorded 372,215 COVID-19 cases and 3,032 deaths since the outbreak in January last year.
In a statement, the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, CCSA, reported 51 fatalities, followed by Samut Prakan 14, Nakhon Pathom 7, Pathum Thani 5, Nakhon Ratchasima 3, and 2 each in Ubon Ratchathani, Udon Thani, Narathiwat, and Tak. Meanwhile, Thailand plans to limit the exports of locally produced AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine as the kingdom faces an uphill battle to fight the outbreak since April. The proposed plan could disrupt the vaccine supply to countries such as Malaysia and Indonesia. National Vaccine Institute Director Nakorn Premsri said the plan to limit a quota on vaccine exports had been agreed in principle on Wednesday. Meanwhile, AstraZeneca said the company is working with the governments across Southeast Asia, including Thailand, to ensure equitable vaccine access to the region, as Thailand-manufactured vaccine is of critical importance to neighboring countries where the pandemic is also accelerating, reported Reuters.
Now, moving on to some sports updates, National Paralympian Jamari Siga aims to contribute a medal placing for the country at the 2020 Tokyo Paralympic Games, which will be held this coming August. The Sark-born athlete, who was listed to compete in the 50-meter butterfly during the Games, expressed his astonishment and gratitude after being informed by his coach Eva Wong Cheng that he will be competing in the Olympics.
The athlete said consistent training as well as mental and physical preparation is needed, even though we are in the midst of a global COVID-19 pandemic. He also mentioned, despite facing the pandemic, he trains twice a day, abiding with the standard operating procedure (SOP).
Now, wrapping up the 5 p.m. news, with a week left until the opening ceremony of the Tokyo Olympic Games, concerns have been raised regarding possible infections, as a cluster has emerged at a hotel where dozens of Brazilian Olympic team members are staying. The host city also topped 1,300 cases, its highest number of new cases in 6 months.
いや、できるとは思ってません。なぜ思ってないんですか？思ってないです。むしろやるんだなって。中止でいいんじゃないかなって思います。コロナを広めるためのオリンピックになっちゃうと思うんで、何考えてんだろう国はって思いますね。強行みたいな感じでやろうとしてるんで。
Just one day after the hotel cluster involving 7 hotel staff emerged, an Olympic athlete under a 14-day quarantine period also tested positive for the virus. A source in the Tokyo Games Organizing Committee also expressed concern, saying that the measures are not in order. As spectators will be banned at 97% of venues, the organizers are also being forced to deal with making changes to how volunteers, medical staff, and security personnel should be assigned to work during the Games. Despite imposing Olympic bubbles, medical experts are worried that they might not be airtight, as the movement of staff servicing the Games can create opportunities for infections.
And that wraps up the 5 p.m. English news on TVS. As usual, don't forget to tune in for the Nightline at 11:30 p.m. with Cheryl Shamina. With that, I'm Handy Gui, and have a pleasant day.